Welcome aboard Sir Boats Yacht, your trusted channel for all things nautical, where we dive deep into the stories and specs behind some of the most iconic vessels ever made. Today we're taking you on a nostalgic journey back to the golden age of American craftsmanship as we explore a true classic from the mid-20th century, the 1956 Matthews 42. This yacht isn't just a boat, it's a time capsule floating in timeless elegance. Whether you're a vintage boat enthusiast, a curious collector, or just someone who appreciates beautifully crafted watercraft, this episode is for you. Let's begin with a look at the key features that define the 1956 Matthews 42. Built by the Matthews Boat Company, a name synonymous with luxury wooden boats in the early to mid-1900s, the 42-footer was designed to bridge comfort, seaworthiness, and stately design. At a time when fiberglass had yet to dominate the boat-building scene, Matthews boats stood out for their precision-crafted wooden hulls, built predominantly from mahogany and oak. The Matthews 42 came with a full-displacement hull design, which gave it a comfortable and stable ride through inland waterways and coastal cruising routes alike. This was a boat built for gentlemen, families, and those who saw boating not just as a hobby but as a lifestyle. The Matthews 42's design language is nothing short of maritime poetry. Its sweeping sheer lines, finely varnished brightwork, and polished stainless steel fittings give the boat an aura of dignified grace. Every element on this vessel reflects meticulous attention to detail in an era when boat building was as much an art as it was a craft. The hull was typically constructed using double-planked mahogany over oak frames, providing not only strength and durability but also a deep, rich luster that turns heads at any dock. The foredeck is spacious and slightly cambered, allowing water to drain off easily while maintaining that classic yacht silhouette. The windows, framed in varnished wood, lend a sense of vintage charm that sets the Matthews 42 apart from modern vessels. Step inside, and you're transported into a cozy, handcrafted interior that feels more like a floating cottage than a boat. The cabin layout typically includes a forward stateroom with twin B berths, a central salon that doubles as a living and dining space, and an aft cabin that often features a double berth with ample storage. The interior is lined with rich mahogany paneling and cabinetry, all custom-built and finished to perfection. Original Matthews yachts often came with hand-cut joinery, brass hardware, and custom-fitted upholstery that added layers of elegance and comfort. The galley is compact but functional, usually outfitted with a stove, an icebox or refrigerator, and a sink, all integrated seamlessly into the woodwork. A well-designed head with a marine toilet and sometimes even a small shower compartment completes the liveaboard experience. Another highlight of the 1956 Matthews 42 is its wheelhouse or pilot house. This area is usually raised, offering commanding views of the water and providing the captain with a satisfying helm station filled with analog gauges, a classic wooden wheel, and switches that click with vintage authority. Overhead, the cabin roof often featured a hatch for ventilation and light, while the large wraparound windows give the wheelhouse a panoramic feel. If you're into navigating the old-school way, the Matthews 42 delivers a tactile, rewarding experience behind the wheel. Performance-wise, the Matthews 42 was powered by twin gasoline engines, typically Chrysler Crowns or similar variants, producing between 125 to 150 horsepower each. This setup allowed the boat to cruise comfortably at around 10 to 12 knots, with a top speed of approximately 15 knots depending on loading and sea conditions. While that might not seem fast by today's standards, the Matthews 42 was never about speed. This was a cruising yacht, designed to glide smoothly and efficiently through the water with a gentle, predictable motion that made long trips not only possible but genuinely enjoyable. With its full displacement hull and weighty build, the Matthews 42 excelled at handling choppy water with grace, offering a stable and quiet ride that modern boats often struggle to replicate. Fuel consumption was modest by the standards of the day, although twin gas engines do mean you'll want to keep an eye on the fuel gauge if you plan on extended cruising. Fuel tanks typically held around 200 to 300 gallons, providing a decent range for coastal journeys. Maintenance of these classic engines is a consideration, but many owners have either lovingly maintained the original blocks or upgraded to more efficient modern marine diesels or even electric propulsion for a cleaner, quieter ride. Now let's talk about what makes the Matthews 42 a true standout in the world of vintage yachts.
For starters, it's a product of a company that was already a household name among yachting elites in the 1950s.
Matthews Boat Company, founded in the late 1800s by Scott J. Matthews, had a reputation for building dependable and stylish boats long before fiberglass revolutionized the industry. By the time the 42-footer rolled out in 1956, the company had already refined its craft through decades of innovation and customer feedback. The result is a boat that blends traditional aesthetics with practical livability.
Another unique selling point is the inherent value in wooden construction.
In today's era of fiberglass and composite materials, wooden boats like the Matthews 42 are increasingly rare and celebrated for their craftsmanship. Owning one is akin to owning a piece of functional art. Every screw, panel, and frame in a Matthews boat was set by hand, every coat of varnish carefully applied, and every curve shaped for both function and beauty. It's no surprise that restored Matthews yachts often feature prominently in boat shows, maritime festivals, and private collections.
The Matthews 42 also offers tremendous potential for customization. Because these boats were built in small numbers and often to order, many existing hulls differ slightly in layout and finish.
For modern owners, this opens the door to tasteful upgrades without losing the boat's original charm. Many enthusiasts opt to refit their Matthews 42s with modern navigation electronics, solar panels, updated plumbing, and energy-efficient lighting. However, even with these modern touches, the boat retains its soul, the creak of wooden floorboards, the scent of varnish, and the quiet dignity of a vessel built by hand. There's also a strong and passionate community of Matthews owners and restorers. Groups and forums dedicated to vintage Matthews boats share advice, resources, and restoration tips, making it easier to find parts or just talk shop with like-minded individuals. That sense of community is part of the appeal. Owning a Matthews is not just about the boat, but about being part of a heritage. In terms of usability today, the Matthews 42 remains a fantastic option for those seeking a liveaboard vessel or a weekend cruiser. Its generous cabins, warm interior, and seaworthy hull make it an inviting home on the water. Unlike many modern powerboats that prioritize speed over comfort, the Matthews 42 encourages you to slow down, enjoy the journey, and connect with the water in a more meaningful way. It's the kind of boat that makes every trip feel like a story worth telling.
The longevity of the Matthews 42 is also impressive. With proper maintenance, these boats can last well over a century. The wood, when cared for, ages gracefully and maintains its strength. Regular varnishing, careful winterizing, and attention to hull integrity are all it takes to keep a Matthews in top form. In fact, many 1956 models are still actively cruising today, a testament to their durability and the dedication of their owners.
From a resale perspective, well-maintained or professionally restored Matthews 42s hold their value exceptionally well. Collectors and enthusiasts alike are willing to pay a premium for vessels that retain original features or have been restored using period-appropriate materials. The timeless lines, historical prestige, and artisanal quality make these boats more than just functional, they are investments in tradition. What also sets the 1956 Matthews 42 apart is the sheer experience it offers. This isn't just a boat to look at, it's one to live in. The ambiance created by varnished wood interiors, the gentle lapping of water against a full displacement hull, and the glow of oil lamps in the cabin turn every night on board into a romantic adventure. There's something grounding and almost therapeutic about being surrounded by natural materials and classic design, away from the synthetic hustle of modern life. And finally, there's the aesthetic appeal. Simply put, the Matthews 42 is beautiful. Whether docked at a marina or cruising past a quiet shoreline, it draws admiration. Its lines are graceful yet purposeful, its profile both imposing and welcoming. It is a work of floating heritage that speaks to a time when things were built to last and to impress, not just to function. So whether you're a seasoned boater looking for a restoration project, a weekend sailor in search of a classic, or someone dreaming of a liveaboard lifestyle with character, the 1956 Matthews 42 offers a compelling case. It's not the fastest or flashiest yacht out there, but it is one of the most soulful. With a balance of seaworthiness, comfort, and classic charm, this boat remains one of the finest examples of American boat-building tradition. Thank you for joining us today on Sir Boats Yacht as we explored the 1956 Matthews 42.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into classic yacht craftsmanship, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Got a story or experience aboard a Matthews yacht? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Until next time, keep your keel steady and your spirit adventurous.